Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to show you how to smoke some extra meaty pork back ribs using the 3-2-1 method. So in this video, I am going to be smoking these extra meaty pork back ribs. Other than the ribs, you will need your mustard, your rub, your pork rub, and a container to season your ribs. Let's get these babies out of their packaging and start preparing them for the smoke. Once you get them out of the package, you want to pat them down a little bit, get the extra juices off of the ribs. And these ribs usually have a very, very thin membrane that you want to get rid of before you smoke them, because this membrane makes your ribs tougher if you leave it on. So with a spoon, the edge of a knife or a fork, you can try to get right in the center and peel it off. And once you grab a little piece, it's going to be pretty tough. So you just pull on it and it really shouldn't rip on you. Once you get that membrane down, you're going to use the mustard just to use as a binder. You want to have this smothered all on the bottom side where the bone is and on the top side. For this step, you want to season your ribs very, very liberally. You want to make sure you get it into all the nooks and crannies. It's seasoned to taste. The seasoning that I'm using here, all the stuff that you see in this video, I will be having a link on the description below. If you guys are interested, please go and click those. It does help out my channel. Once you season them, if you have the time, you can leave it overnight or at least a couple of hours before you smoke them, so you can give the seasoning a chance to kind of break down into the top part of your ribs. We're going to be setting our smoker at 250 degrees. Set your ribs bone side down. Make sure you put some water in a water pan to keep it moist in there. I will be using this Thermoworks system, fire management system. This is a Signals and the Billows. This one is a real good product if you want to keep it and maintain a very, very accurate temperature. For this one, it is a little bit of investment, but it is well worth it. If you like what you see here, I'll leave a link on the description below so you guys can get your very own. We're going to set the smoker up at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to be smoking these ribs for 3 hours at that temperature. After 3 hours, this is what your ribs are going to be looking like. We're done with the first stage of this process. Now we're going to go on to the next stage. In this next stage, it's a 2 method, which means we're going to wrap them up in foil, stick them into the smoker for another 2 hours. But before we do that, we want to prepare these a little bit. You do want to get yourself a little bit of a marinade, and the marinade that I use is barbecue sauce and pineapple juice. You want to mix that together. Set it off to the side. You do want to have about a half a stick of butter. You want to cut them in smaller pieces. Once you have that, you want to get yourself some heavy duty aluminum foil. Get a piece big enough that'll cover your whole entire rib, so because you're going to be wrapping them. You want to lay that marinade down. Put the pats of butter. After that, you're going to get yourself some brown sugar. Sprinkle that on top. Then you're going to lay your ribs with your bone facing up and wrap it as tight as possible. Try not to puncture any holes in this. Once you're done there, we're going to put this baby back on the grate, bone facing up. We are going to stick these ribs back into the smoker at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. Once your 2 hours are up, you're going to unwrap them. You're going to have a lot of juices that are going to stay in the foil, so you're going to need to drain that if possible. So now we're done to the last part, which is your 1 method. From the 3-2-1, you're going to try to flip these over. Sometimes these are very soft. They might be falling apart on you, so I'm going to leave it in the foil so that doesn't happen. And in this stage, it's totally up to you, but you can add a little bit of barbecue sauce on top. I am going to add only to half of it because, well, one of my daughters likes barbecue sauce and the other one doesn't. So half barbecue sauce, half no barbecue sauce. Once you smother that over, we're going to stick them back into the smoker, still smoking at 250 for another hour or so. Now this one is up to you. If you like them a little tougher, on the bark a little bit tougher, you leave it for the entire hour. If you like them a little softer, you can leave it there for 15 minutes. This is just for it to get a little bit of that crust on top, a little bit of that marbleization. Well, the last step here is after the hour, we're going to pull them out of smoker again, and we're gonna cut them. I usually like to cut my ribs with the bone facing up so I can see where I'm hitting. These do go at an angle, and typically I try to give 2 bones before I make my first cut. They do go at a little bit of an angle, so just keep in mind that you might have to wiggle your knife a little bit. And that's the finished product right there. Very thick, very meaty, and it is very juicy. These ribs came out pretty good. Thank you for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you guys on the flip side.